So when we first started and worked at the Canons, one of our main points of action was to establish whether there was any contamination to the silt that was in the bottom of the pond. We took careful advice from our ecologist team and looked to see whether we'd have any impact on the nesting birds that were currently on the site. It was decided that because the bird nests were here and they were to the far side of the pond, that we'd be able to use a small water pump to reduce the level slightly so that we could just expose the silt to the sides. So that would allow us to get the testing underway and to check that the pennyworth extent was fully recorded. So what we did was we reduced the water level by about 20 centimetres, which allowed us to get to the margins and test the silt, but it's also given quite a good area for the birds to feed on, and so they've had a lot of margin, which was quite a good thing for the birds to feed on while they were young. As you can see, the birds are lovely and healthy, and they seem to have been well brought up, and they're all now thriving on the pond, and we're hoping that they're now fully fledged and our works won't interrupt them when we restart later in the year. This is floating pennywort. It's a Schedule 9 species under the Wildlife and Countryside Act, which means that we need to control it and cannot spread it. So as part of the works while we're desilting and rebuilding the pond, we'll be looking at controlling this weed and making sure it doesn't re-enter the pond. When it rots down the pennywort, it creates a lot of dead matter in the water, and then that causes the water to lose its oxygen potential. So it reduces the ability for things to live in the water and makes it go stagnant, and that's why you can sort of smell it now on the sort of rotting vegetation smell around the edge of the pond. So this side, the one with the white beak, that's a coot, and then they've had a brood of 6, and then you've got the little sort of more brown birds at the back, and over to the right the black ones, and they're moorhens. So there's 2 separate broods on the pond at the moment, and in total there's about 11 chicks. And they're sort of seeming to enjoy life quite a bit.